Welcome to the Hey Docs podcast with your host, Jill Allen. In this episode, we are diving into the world of practice management software with WaveOrtho, a company that's pushing boundaries of technology in the orthodontic space. Paula Smith, our guest today, will share what sets Wave apart from the competition and how they're keeping tech at the forefront of their software offerings. We'll also explore how Wave's flexible CRM approach can help practices customize their experience and avoid common pitfalls when implementing new systems. Let's get into it. We all know running and growing an orthodontic practice isn't easy, and technology is supposed to help you, but oftentimes your practice management software doesn't. Some of them are even clunky and need lots of third-party add-ons. That's why I recommend Greyfinch to my startup and existing clients, because Greyfinch is different. Greyfinch is an all-in-one web-based platform that saves you time and boosts your client base, productivity, and bottom line, with no downloads or third-party software needed. It even has tools you can't find anywhere else, like televisits, two-way email and text messaging, a patient self-service hub, and much more. Want to see how it can grow your practice? Visit greyfinch.com/Jill Allen and see why countless leading practices have made the switch. Are you feeling the squeeze from declining starts and cash flow as costs continue to rise? Building on their industry-leading patient acquisition, insurance management, and collections solution, OrthoFi is delivering groundbreaking innovations to keep your practice thriving. OrthoFi's latest feature, iMax, allows you to maximize every insurance claim submission, adding tens of thousands of dollars to your annual production. Plus, with the game-changing combo of FPT10 and third-party financing, OrthoFi is making it even easier for patients to say yes to treatment while ensuring steady cash flow for your practice. OrthoFi's commitment to your success in today's evolving orthodontic landscape is why I recommend them to my clients, and right now is the best time to get started. Visit startmoresmiles.com and use promo code HeyDocs to get 50% off your implementation. Paula, I am so excited to have you on Hey Docs. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey Jill, hey Doc. So good to be here. I love getting the invitation. It's so fun to always just have a nice chat with you.
Yes. One of the things that I like to do when we start off the podcast is just to have my guests tell a little bit about themselves, about the company that they're with, WaveOrtho for you, and just give us some insight into you and the company.
Oh, you're so sweet. I hate to talk about myself, but I will talk about the company all day. Jill, I think when we chatted when we were visiting back in the spring, I've been in the business for over 30 plus years. I started as a sterilization tech in an orthodontic office. For me, I was in high school. I took the job because it was on our career center board and the hours were 3:30 to 5:30 and no weekends, no holidays. So I was that social butterfly and I was like, hey, I could do that job.
Absolutely.
I had no idea what a sterilization tech was. I got into that office, I was hired and I had to ask, what would my job be? I worked for an amazing office and I had awesome mentors. Everyone on that team was just great. One of the first things that really hit for me is I was working, it was within the first week of me being there, but this doctor was taking off like 3 sets of braces that day. And the patients got up out of the chair and I'm over cleaning instruments. They just had these huge smiles and they like got out of the chair, they're standing a little taller and you just from them radiated this joy and happiness and they couldn't stop smiling. And I leaned over to the doctor and his military background, but I leaned over and I said, you have the best job ever. And I remember him looking over at me and he paused for a minute and he saw I'm looking at the patients and he turned and looked at them and he looked back and he goes, yeah, you know what? I do.
Yep.
And that hooked me, Jill. From that point on, I couldn't leave an orthodontic office. I absolutely just had a passion for it. I love being involved with the people that we get to meet and that we get to be involved with every day, because who doesn't want to create beautiful smiles? Who doesn't want to be a part of that on some level? So that for me was amazing. WaveOrtho has been in the business for over 30 years. Our kind of background is that we started and our company name changed throughout that. So
I remember.
back in the beginning of our company, there were two partners. And in 2015, one of those partners decided to buy the other one out and rebranded the name to WaveOrtho. But he is a busy practicing orthodontist out of Laguna Beach, Laguna Niguel, California, two busy locations, thus a surfer at heart, being from the beach. So that will probably hit home for many as to why our name changed.
Sure.
And the rebranding to WaveOrtho. It's really huge for us to have an orthodontist at the helm.
Yeah.
And I think that's what interested me in Wave, the company. It's a continuation of what I'd always been involved with, just helping people in a different way.
That's great. And it is fun to see, with both of us being in the industry for so long, these evolutions of companies and ones that have been able to stand the test of time, which is huge when you think about how long Wave has been part of the DNA of so many practices, even a rebrand and the new features that you guys have brought on. It's exciting to see that this isn't just a pop-up company that, hey, we're going to throw our hat in the ring and try and be a good operating system. Like you said, to have an owner that is orthodontist led, I think, again, they just understand the needs because they're really working in it day in and day out. With that thought, that takes me to some of the things that I have really enjoyed learning and finding out about the company. I want you to talk a little about your core features and what I think is really differentiating your company and WaveOrtho from some of the other operating systems out there, because I definitely feel like, and it's been nice, you guys have really just taken this different approach, especially as you guys have rebranded. I'll let you go into it, but I'd love for you to talk to us about that.
But things that really have differentiated us, I feel, that sets us apart from the pack. There are so many great software companies out there, some industry leaders. We like to say we're happy to be included in this group and the choices that orthodontists have. But things that really differentiate us, I hit the nail on the head earlier. We are led and owned by an orthodontist. Our perspective when we're going into the software, when we're creating all these great features and packages, coming down from the leadership is huge. We have a rule when we're creating features in our software. And these core 3 rules that we have are really important. One, we feel it has to improve the patient experience. When anyone brings us an idea, or even our team, our clients, you consultants out there, when we get to work with you and you're giving us ideas, you were like, does this item improve that patient experience? I think that's huge. You said it about looking at all these successful practices that stood the test of time. I think patient experience ranks right up there at the top. Our patients, our clients are more demanding these days. We're busier. I even look at myself. My kids are grown and gone, but back in the day, I look back and I'm like, how did I do that? Like, how did I raise? And how did I always just call in to make orthodontic appointments? Going back to our core things we ask, does it improve the patient experience? How does it make that company money? Does it give them more time? Because time is money. What does it do to add more value to the company and the business? And then lastly for us, it's how does it save the doctor or team time? We're always going to fall back on those 3 core items when we're creating features and packages. Our software is very flexible. You can run it via cloud or server. Giving options to your clients is very important. Some doctors love their server. It's their baby in the office, and they can't give that up. So you can run our software via cloud or server.
Yep.
I also have some people who say, believe it or not, that our internet services are not that great. So cloud then was maybe not a good, solution for them. Both of those options you can run on browser enabled. What our doctors love is having that hands-on accessibility to their practice on their iPhone. They can bring up the full version of their software because our doctors, the owners, are busy too. We want them to be able to get to their children's soccer games. If there's a break, they could check or sign a couple letters if that's what they want to do. It's available to them. We love that easy accessibility. That's key for us. Our software also runs both on Windows and Mac computers natively. So it doesn't require any parallel programs. If you're a Mac lover, you go for it. I have doctors who say, I love Windows. Like, I hate Mac. And I'm like, then you get Windows. And then I have those sitting on the fence that, well, I'd like to try it out. So they can also run the combination of the two in their practice. So for us, those are the ways that differentiate us.
That is something I have really appreciated, especially in the startup realm. You're exactly right. So many of my docs, one of the first questions I ask when we start talking about software and we're trying to figure out which direction we might be heading with operating systems is, are you going to be a Mac user or a PC user? You probably remember the old PC commercials and Mac commercials that were out there. And I feel like it really does start with that. I love that Wave is able to accommodate both. We know now everybody's got their preference, and people are going to die with the computers that they like. They're going to stick to them usually for the most part.
Absolutely. Loyalty, right?
Yes.
To your brand and what you do. And then also we change so many things that sometimes it's comforting to know that we can keep with what we know. I love that you asked that of them, because what side you're going to be on.
One of the things I have really appreciated about Wave is that I feel like you guys have been, especially lately, I feel like, and I remember when the name change came out, it was like, okay, who is this company? But I feel like you have done such a good job at looking at the future. I would love for you to talk about that a little bit, because unfortunately in our industry, we have, I think, sometimes been slow to adapt to technology, or kind of held on to what works. So why should we change it? And I think especially with a lot of our younger docs, and when I'm working with new doctors, we're talking about digital systems and different ways of communicating with patients right from the beginning. We aren't holding fast to the way it was done even 10 or 15 years ago. So I'm wondering if you can talk about the vision and what you have been doing within the software. I feel like you have your own environment, which I really like, where it's like this very holistic environment where everything just works well within the system. And I'm wondering if you can talk about that and how you guys have really thought to keep that tech in the forefront of your vision.
Yeah. So for us, that's important, right? And I think for any business out there, being relevant, you have to remain relevant as you grow, and change happens, whether we want it to or not. It just happens. I remember back in the day when we went from paper charts to electronic charting.
Yeah.
Who would have known? I do feel like ortho, though, I'm going to give snaps where snaps are due. We're very fast to adapt to those changes. We may not like it. And you're always going to have people out there who don't like the moving or changing of those processes or things that you've done. Because you work in consulting and change is the name of the game. And then also being consistent with what you're trying to promote. If that patient experience is important to you, sometimes technology gets a bad rap for taking the personal touch out of it. I would say that the shift there is technology is freeing up your team and your time to be more hands-on with those clients on site. And I think sometimes what we think could be hindering something for some actually opens the doors for others. I work remotely. If I need to make an appointment, if I'm waiting for a doctor to join a demo, I can get on my phone and schedule a massage appointment, later. I can get on and schedule a dental checkup or cleaning online. I do love what technology is bringing to us. And I think just having that open mind, if you are that practice considering these things, it's awesome to have that open mind. The way we stay on top of tech, I'll tell you, Jill, the secret sauce. Don't tell anybody. I really feel with Wave, it's been employing creative, innovative people. Our owner's CEO, they've done a great job of sussing out or finding those people that when they talk to them about some big idea that we have to make something better, that's never been done, or no, it can't be done. Wow, how can we do that? And for us, the fun thing that we do, like in orthodontics, when people get their braces off and they're beaming from ear to ear, a fun thing for us is when we release a new feature. out there. The beauty for us is no matter how much time we've spent, our team just loves a good brain teaser, right? How can we create this? How can we make it work? And then we go, yeah, this is awesome. Like it's the new baby. Let's release it out there to people. And when we release it, we're always amazed at how our clients, no matter how great we think and we've thought of everything, but our clients are brilliant. They'll come in and go, if it could do this, or how about, could we use it for this in another way? You know? Yes.
Of course we could. Yes.
I love it. I think technology is just never losing that creativity that you have and that passion and that love for our profession out there. And just having good people. I'll tell you, I'm going to give it all the props to Wave team. We have some of the best developers out there, the best trainers out there, our support in going forth and being able to communicate to our clients when something is maybe different or changed. But it's just having good people and then having those great systems. Again, those three factors. How does this improve the patient experience for our offices? Does it make them money? How is it helping them make money? And how does it free up our doctor and our team's time to spend it on those important patients that come through the door? That's our don't tell the secret sauce.
We'll keep it just between us and all of our Hey Docs out there.
Yeah.
And I love that you said that, because that is one of the things that I have really been able to see as my clients continue to sign on with Wave and are using it in their offices. It's just such an easy system to use. And I just constantly hear, like you said, those core pieces that you're talking about. I think you can really see that with my clients that are using Wave, that they're feeling very happy. I just never hear this or that. It just seems to be intrinsically a really good system in that regard. And what you guys are doing is definitely shining through. So props to the team out there. Exactly, snap. One of the other things that I have really appreciated is I feel like you guys have taken an approach where we aren't going to take things from within our industry, but pull on items that are outside of our industry. When we think about CRMs that are outside of our industry, we all know that we have to have a CRM within our own operating systems. What I appreciated is it's almost like you guys have this core system, and then we can build off of it. Your clients can opt in for certain things, opt out, they can upgrade. I really appreciate that because everybody's in a different spot financially, maybe what their needs are. I'm wondering if you can talk about the difference from how it works from your core plan to a complete. If you can talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. Like you said, and you hit it just right, whether you're a new startup, that's the beauty of Wave. Maybe you're cost conscious. We definitely have a package for you. Maybe you're the new doc coming out and you're purchasing an older office with dated software. And a lot of the new docs, you don't like to go through the multiple steps involved with older software. That is not efficient to them.
Yep.
They've grown up in the electronic world, right? The tech world, and they want something better. But I do love Wave. I do feel that, like, again, from our core package, we offer all kinds of packages, like you said, and our goal and with it is our mantra. Our goal with our software, the mantra was to manage, market, and grow your practice. With that, we do operate so much like a business CRM. I can't tell you, even last week, I got a call from a doctor out of Florida who'd taken his daughter to an office of ours in Florida, but he's doing hormone replacement therapy. And he had his office manager call and find out who WaveOrtho was. Can he use it to run his business?
Hey docs, on this podcast, I talk about a lot of different ways you can set your practice apart. But here's one that might surprise you. Maybe you haven't thought about it before, but the equipment you use can make a big difference, not just for the patient experience, but for you and your team too. That's why I want to let you know about a new line of orthodontic equipment from ADEC. I visited their headquarters in Oregon earlier this year to take a sneak peek for myself, and I have to say, I was impressed. ADEC has manufactured award-winning dental equipment for 60 plus years, and they're bringing that same level of excellence to ortho. From comfortable, compact patient chairs to a versatile workstation and delivery to ergonomic dental stools, ADEC orthodontic equipment is designed for a smooth and easy workflow. Day after day, patient after patient, see the difference it can make for your practice. Click the link in our show notes to learn more about ADEC Orthodontic Solutions. Hey docs, did you know that October is Substance Abuse Prevention Month? As you may recall, this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart because I believe at some point in our lives we will each know and love an addict. And through all of the pain and chaos, we just want to see them heal. But finding help is hard, and reaching recovery is even harder. That is where 180 Ministries comes in, a faith-based recovery program that offers life-changing support to individuals battling substance abuse and addiction. With locations across Colorado and Utah, they provide a safe, compassionate program predicated on hope and healing for men and women and for mothers and children. That is why I am featuring them on the show, because I know that our dental and orthodontic community can help make a difference in the fight for relief. Whether you are seeking help in recovery or are wanting to make a donation towards this amazing cause, visit 180ministries.net to learn more about how you can help support this incredible mission. Let's join together to turn lives around one step at a time. Wow.
I do want to be upfront with you. We are an orthodontic specific software. However, I do feel that the software has been built like a business CRM. It's there to manage, market, and grow your business.
Yep.
The only slight thing that might make a little bit of a difference to you is there's going to be a tooth chart inside of the chart. Can you still make patient notes? You absolutely can. Are you going to use the tooth chart? Probably not. But you can also show before and after photos, because he did a mirage of different wellness products. We get in our ortho world and we think it's just us. We are a business. We're trying to create and provide the best opportunities for our teams, our doctors, and our patients. So going from our different packages, core is our basic package. That's the one if you're cost conscious, maybe you're a new startup coming out, you don't have a lot of money on hand at the beginning, you're going to get your practice management essentials in that to start your business with. Next level is the connect level. And the connect level to me has my own little favorite features in there.
Yeah, let's talk about them.
Yeah, level is going to give you like two-way texting ability with your clients. I really love our enhanced texting. I love it because if I'm that mom that I reach out to the TC, school starts next Monday. I was in 2 weeks ago, but didn't sign up. If I text your TC and say, hey, Jody, can you text me my contracts and informed consent? If I signed those, send them back, go online, pay my down. When could my mom bring her to get her braces on?
Yes.
BTW, she starts school in a week.
Yep.
So can we do it? Jody can shoot me out my contracts and consents via text.
Which is amazing.
Right?
Amazing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love being able to send before and after photos that way. Just again, those things that enhance that patient experience. And again, make communication really easy.
Yeah.
It offers you that connect package. You'll get blast email and blast texting features. If you're going to send out a blast text to all of your patients saying, hey, back to school means, did you get your cleaning and checkup done? Did you get in for your orthodontic evaluation? Maybe you're going to host a back to school party or open house with your group. I love blast texting to introduce new technologies that you're using or to introduce your new employees to the clients. It really is, again, great ways to communicate. With that Connect package, you're going to get a leads retrieval system. Anytime your clients are out or your team is out, if you're the doctor, I always recommend to the doctors that they have their family members have the Leads app on their phone. But when they're out and about and they get asked, what is it that your significant other does? Or, hey, I see you're in scrubs. What do? You start talking teeth. Jill, you're in the airport and people ask you where I can do consulting. I need an orthodontist. So you can take that lead on your phone, and when you go to save it, it'll actually automatically save it within Wave.
Wow. That's
So
great.
again, it's not just like meeting people and they have to try to remember. You take down that leads information, and on Monday or whenever you're back in the office, your team's able to then reach out to those patients and say, hey, we'd love to get you in for an exam. What works for you? So those fun things that are in the connect level. We also have a case closer in there, which for me snaps in this area, but it's a little slighter. My favorite way to use that little case closer is if somebody leaves uncommitted, maybe the option is, gosh, I got to go talk to my significant other. Maybe it's a divorced family that needs to consult somebody else on it first. What I love is I can say, you know what, I'll email this. They're busy. If it's 11 o'clock at night and they're able to pull that up, play with those numbers, look at different options for discounts, play with the down, play with the monthly, choose their due date. I really feel it gives them that option. They feel involved, like they had choices, and then they hit I accept. Your team gets notified, and we can send out those digital contracts however we choose to do that. They can schedule online, all those good things.
Yeah.
And that takes us to our next package, and that's the Grow package. And Grow, I feel that name of it in itself just describes it. If you're the motivated, like driven doctor, and some of your new startups that I work with, I feel I get the most from you on these. They're ready to hit the ground running. They put a lot of money into these new startups that they're opening, and they've got to make sure they're seeing that reward right away. So Grow gives you things like online scheduling capabilities. They get a website exam scheduler. And I know you mentioned like marketing of those clients, if they're doing it on social media prior to their doors opening. And I love that the minute they have a website up, the minute they have Wave in place,
We're going.
people can book those exams
Exactly.
boom, before the door even opens.
Exactly. We got to have butts in the chairs before we open those doors.
I'm telling you. And doctors are seeing the possibilities, right? Because there's always that fear for any of us out there. Am I going to get am I going to schedule the appointments? If I could just get them in, I'll be fine. But when you see that schedule filled, there's something magic about that, right? That you go, yes. Maybe it's the first day that you launch your website exam scheduler. Another feature in the Grow that's online scheduling too is our patient harbor. So it's our version of a patient portal. Being Wave, we name it something water-based. So it's the harbor there. But on that, it does allow your patients and parents 24/7 access to you. So I love it. Again, me being that busy single mom, when my kids were going to the orthodontist, I would have died to have something available like this. But I can go on, I can make payments online. I can self-schedule those next appointments. If grandma's helping me out by getting the kids to the appointment, as the mom, I can go online and set their next appointment up. Maybe I'm able to set up a time that works for me to go in. I can also change account information. I've done that poor mom juggle before, where I've got to change that account expiration date. I can't miss the orthodontic bill. So I can change that, update health histories, get HSA forms on my own. And then my kids were always classic at forgetting their school excuses or placing them. Their school was strict. I love the ability that via Harbor, they can log on and grab those school or work excuses if needed. It just gives that awesome hands-off access. We tried to take all of those little things that your teams take phone calls for.
That tie them up.
And that busy people hate that when you call an office and maybe you're just getting a barrage of recorded items that are 10 minutes long and you're like, I could have gotten this handled. Or maybe you're put on mega hold. So for me, it is, again, improving that patient experience that I can just log on any time of day. If I forgot that I scheduled an appointment for the orthodontist and I booked a meeting for myself, I could log on rather than no showing the appointment with you, change that appointment. They have this opening. Your team can proactively fill your schedule with that. With Grow, and this is probably my all-time favorite thing in the Grow level, is our Treatment Card Pro and our Smart Aligner tracking. So it's truly the most evolved treatment card I've seen out there for automations. Our goal with this, again, having an orthodontist at the helm, we'd spent a lot of time like creating great administrative things, great business things, marketing things, but we never really went in and said, what do the doctors need? like to improve their side of
Yep.
treatment planning, freeing them up to be really present with those patients at the chair side, really making that appointment be about the person in the chair and that beautiful smile you're creating and having that bandwidth for that creative flow. So we have automations. Our goal was we want to cut down the typing. We don't want our assistants and doctors to get hand fatigue from all the typing. We want to click and it adds the arch wire and it types it in your notes. The other part is in our busy time and in the summer months, maybe a lot of people just are getting off of that time. There were days when I worked in an orthodontic office that where your head was spinning. Lunch, you were like, okay, I need to go back and make sure I made all the notes, Or I was that girl that had a notepad by the bedside nightstand table, and I might wake up at 2 a.m. Oh my gosh, I forgot to write this in that patient's chart. Doctor told me to. Our goal was to make lightning fast clinical appointments, not have it be all about typing, making sure that notes did get into the charts consistently, because those are your legal documented chart notes. Also giving continuity of the notes that were going in. You hire someone new, and for any of us, they speak in their language. In the chart, I might look at it and go, I don't know what this says.
Yes. I still remember that from my clinical assisting days when we'd have somebody new come in. They were saying the same thing, but we said it differently. Our lingo was different.
For the first little bit, as you're trying to train that new person to speak in your language,
Yep.
they had to also decipher sometimes for you. I feel that's brought that to the table too with the Grow package. It lasts in the most complete, and that's why we call it complete. With that one, what we've done, and Jill, I think you and your team are going to love this, because I know just as being practice management consultants, even in the sales realm of things, follow up is the key. It's like the lifeblood. Once you booked all those appointments in those chairs with that website exam scheduler, realistically, you're not going to sign 100% of them. So then having the means to follow up and making sure that resembles what consistency you want in your practice, what your consultant recommends to have in your practice. With the complete package, our doctors get to dictate and say, if a patient goes into pending and that doctor says 2 days after they leave my office and go into pending, I want them to get a nice, common and kind text that says, hey, it was nice to meet you. We'd love to help you create that beautiful smile. If you do have any additional questions, concerns that you'd like to go over with us, feel free to text, email, or call us. Just that little bit, it just, like maybe again, that person's had a busy couple days. It just puts you at that forefront of their mind again. I really liked them. And that's such a nice text. How nice that they reached out. If that doctor, even 2 weeks later, wants that patient to receive an email, they get another point of communication. And maybe 2 months out, they want somebody to personally call them. The complete package will task your team members, puts that on your treatment coordinator's list of to-do items, and it says, hey, call Bobby Smith and follow up with them about their exam appointment. The beauty of having this complete package is that you're setting it up in the beginning, to fit your systems as you want them to happen. And as it, again, magically happens, but it's automated. You know that those points of contact are always going to happen. It's not based upon if your team is too busy. It's that it's going to happen regardless if the team was busy or not. And you know how important that is to cash in on case acceptance.
For sure. Absolutely.
That sometimes it's just a reach out, that reminds that patient, that's right. You know what? My new thing is working on me, and I want a more beautiful smile. I wish I could go over everything that's incomplete. The other thing it adds is it just automates your gifting programs too. If you're the office that after you do a D-bond, you want to send them a goodie bag of things they shouldn't be eating. If it's a full bond and you want to get a chocolate decadent brownie, we have this amazing company that we work with that just automatically, again, based upon procedure codes in your practice, will get out that gifting to them. Our goal is that something is there for every office, and whatever your office needs are, there's something for you.
What I really appreciate about this, and I just think it's so unique to you guys specifically, as well as I feel like it's this really curated ecosystem that you have set up. As you said, you can move up in packages as you need or start right from the beginning with everything. You don't have to go out and be like, okay, I need to go find a two-way texting system. I need to go find a slider system. It's all there. It's just a matter of adding that into your ecosystem depending upon the package that you're doing. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't do that, but I love it that you guys have already sourced this, figured out what works, and it's just a really complete way to look at it and know that everything is working towards the same objective. Because I think sometimes we get some third party companies and this works, but this doesn't. It feels a little clunky, I think sometimes. Props to you guys for figuring that out, because that is definitely something I continue to hear with my docs choosing the system. Everybody chooses different packages, but they just really love that kind of complete, I can do everything within it depending upon which package I am. And I don't have to put the brain power out to force something to work. With some of our softwares that have been in the industry for quite a while that have not really evolved, that is what we're having to do, is say, hey, our industry is changing, the software isn't. And so therefore I have to kind of get these third party companies to pull it all together.
And that just adds more work for your team.
Yeah.
For us, it was making it all in one platform, having it be all inclusive, not having to have all of those expensive third parties. I'll share with you, Jill, 2 days ago, I received a request for a demo from a doctor, found this one to be overwhelming for him because I went, oh my gosh, this is what doctors are facing today. But he gave me a line itemed list of all of these different platforms he was using. His email to me was 2 pages long. Bulk of it, 1 page was all of those different softwares he's using to provide this or that. And he put down next to each one. And for me, I'm like, oh, that Connect does that. Okay. You know what? This guy's going to want Complete because he wants all of these and he can get rid of all of those items there. But I think it just goes to show, again, I feel like in our industry, we do want more and we need more, and we do need it to be all inclusive. And with our teams, like, they don't want to be logging in and out because with all these passwords these days,
oh my gosh,
Jill, what am I logging into? What was my password for that? I don't know. Does it not get done because I can't remember the password? So having it all in one is just so awesome for our teams. And we love being able to provide that. We're still always working, evolving everything. But like you said, there's something for everyone. People who convert over from another software and you're used to having all those third parties, having the different packages can also be a way to ease your team into change.
Yes. Yeah.
You can start out smaller as the smaller package with fewer features. Once we've mastered and implemented those and you see the effect, then as a team, we're ready to go to the next one. Look at how much freed up our, what will the next one do? It's just amazing that way.
And that kind of takes me into, as we finish up here, but I do have one more question, and what you were just saying segues right into that. And we do know that there are a lot of doctors, and it isn't just startups. You guys are working with doctors in of their practice. I'm wondering if you can talk just a little bit about, so let's say we've got either a doc that's doing an acquisition or an existing doc that's listening, and they're like, I think it's time to open up a new chapter on my practice management system. Can you talk a little bit about the pitfalls that you see? You've been doing this for a while now, and you've been alluding to it, some of the stressors that come along with team members and change. Can you talk a little bit about any advice to help them if they're deciding to make a change and what they need to be thinking about looking at moving from one software to another?
Absolutely. Data conversions, right? A data conversion, change is hard. If it were easy, everybody would do it all day long. Change is hard. And when you go from one software system to a completely different system, this is the main brain of your practice, right? You're doing everything different. Your scheduling is different. The way you take a new patient is different. What features you have to help you with that is different. So I always tell people, number one, as the doctors in the practice, you're the leaders and you should talk to your team about change, right? And then as teams, we have to be there and support each other in that change because it's uncomfortable. I wish we could all say, oh, it's so easy, but we're just going to change everything you're doing. It's not easy. Preparation to me is the key. And that's been that way with anything in my life, any change that's come around. And sometimes you don't get a pick when change comes in. So you just immediately have to shift gears and be prepared for it. I always say to doctors too, involve your team in that change. When you go out and do demos, there are so many different great companies out there, but do your due diligence, do those demos. I feel like you're always going to walk away, just like when people come into your office, you're going to vibe with someone or something about that software, right?
Yeah.
Do something that makes you feel comfortable, but involve the team in that. Don't just spring it on them, because then sometimes I feel that gives more resistance.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Talk about that. Lead up to the point where you're going to make these changes. For data conversions, if you're that doc that you've been struggling, and I've heard this is a common thing too, with even all this summer, for probably since the first of the year, the common thing is I hear that we're just struggling with this particular system we're using. It shouldn't be a struggle. You might have to put some work in on the front end, but then it should get easier and easier. And I tell all of our offices too, when you do a data conversion, there's 6 weeks of morning sickness.
That's such a good analogy.
One day you're in this one day you're in this one. And there's 6 weeks of morning sickness. And during that time, you're going, what did I do?
Exactly. Right? Oh, that's so true.
I even have a doctor. She's an amazing doctor, but she came to the booth one time and she said, and I loved this because it just hit home for me, but I was just walking on eggshells around my team for a few weeks because I'd done this to them. And she goes, one day in the clinic, I said, guys, I'm so sorry that I just went and did this. And they're like, what? I changed everything. And the team said, what do you mean? We love it. So also teams, share with your doctors and let them know, oh my gosh, those few weeks were hard, but we love this. We love it. And so don't discount what resilience you have to get these changes done. The things I definitely recommend, and we give all of our clients a tips to a successful conversion kind of check off list. Being prepared is the key. One huge thing, and this is great to share even when you go into offices with your clients, make sure your accounts are in order. Go through them. Are there credits that need to be transferred to siblings that you treat? Do you need to do write-offs or refunds? Is there an old account sitting there accruing late fees for years that you need to adjust and get straight? I always tell people garbage in, garbage out. So the more cleanup you can do on the front side of it as you're preparing, the better it's going to be when you get in. But we also, when you make that data conversion in Wave, we have ways for you to, like, if you have duplicate patients or duplicate insurances, that you can merge those. So a lot of things you couldn't clean up in your old software, you can now clean up when you get to Wave. So there's light at the end of that tunnel out there too. But I always tell teams, don't go into it thinking it's going to be easy and I don't need to do any work. You got to go in thinking I'm going to do this work up front to reap the benefits of it on the end.
Good planning. If you plan appropriately and set yourself up for success, you will do just fine. My 2 cents as a consultant is absolutely do not do this right before your summer or right before a busy season. If you can time it where you can do it at a slow time and you guys can get used to it before your busy season kicks off, don't do that to your team in the middle of a summer. So Paula, as we finish up here, this has been just absolutely fabulous. And I know everybody who's been listening has been like, this is just great information. Good to know. If somebody wants to contact you or learn more about WaveOrtho, how can they do that?
Absolutely. So you can visit our website at www.waveortho.com. Right online, you can schedule a demo with us. We also have our phone numbers on there, so you can personally call in and chat with one of us. And then my email, you can contact me directly with any questions at Paula, Paula, at waveortho.com. So I'd love to be of service to you.
Yeah, that's great. Hey docs, let's talk about Smile Suite, because it's not just another scheduling system. It's a game changer in the world of new patient management. And as a proud Smile Suite partner, I've witnessed the incredible impact it has on practices of all sizes. Smile Suite means your new patient calls and web leads are expertly handled 7 days a week, even during nights and weekends. And they offer top-notch customizable presentation software and seamless post-consultation follow-up. It's like having a secret weapon for your practice's success. Curious? Dive into the revolution at getsmilesuite.com. And don't forget to mention Hey Docs to unlock some extra goodies.
Elevate your practice with Smile Suite because every smile deserves a suite of excellence.
As you probably know, the way I like to finish up Hey Docs is to do a little speed round. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. What's your go-to productivity tool?
Oh my gosh, the main brain of your office, your software.
All right. Are you an early bird or night owl?
I am a night owl.
I love it. What was your first job you ever had?
My very first job was McDonald's. I worked
Oh.
at McDonald's, if you can believe it, because that was where all the fun people hung out at that time.
I remember those days. And then what would you say has had the most tremendous impact on your professional life?
And I call it self-care, but self-care to me is a lot of things. The first thing is feeding your brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that continuing education.
Yes.
So whether that's hiring a great coach like Jill Allen and Associates, whether that's listening to great podcasts like Hey Docs, right? Reading a good book.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that can be yoga as well, taking a walk. Yeah. I will confess that, and I never thought I'd ever say this, Jill, but spending time with your grandbabies or just children in general.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, they keep you young.
Yep.
Invest in yourself. You know, that's the biggest thing. Whatever that is for you, but you can't go wrong by doing something that's going to benefit you.
I could not agree with you more. And then our final question, what's one business skill you think everyone should have?
Consistency.
Ooh, that's a good one. This has been super fabulous. Thank you so much, Paula, for taking time out and being a part of Hey Docs with me. And I look forward to having you on again.
Thank you, Jill Allen. And if none of you have ever met Jill in person and her team, I'm going to shamelessly promote them. Oh. Wherever you're at your next, stop by their booth. And this smile that you're seeing right now, they will just light you up, this whole group. So I cannot say enough about how awesome I feel, Jill, that you always are to us, to everybody that you meet.
Thank you.
I love how authentic you guys are. And it's not, again, show. Her entire team, it will just light you up with these wonderful, warm welcomes and smiles that they give you. Oh. So we really appreciate, thank you for allowing us to be on your Hey Doc.
Thank you for those wonderful words. That's very nice. All right. Until next time. See ya.